morning, Governor. The legislature is coming back to form of the Senate tomorrow. First of all, have you had any discussions with the Senate Majority Leader? And if you haven't, what would you like to tell him to work on?
Well, I'm pleased that they're coming back. You know, they could have taken action throughout the last 6 months, but they didn't. And I'm concerned about unemployment, and I'm concerned about ensuring that our local municipalities and school boards have the ability to meet remotely. Those are two changes in the law that really need to be made very quickly, and I'm glad they're coming in, at least the Senate, the House maybe next week, but we got to get these two pieces done immediately.
Is that for the unemployment piece? There were several different changes: the length of time, the requirements for getting it. What else do they need to change in the Senate?
Those are the two primary pieces. You know, I went to work immediately as the crisis was unfolding in Michigan to make it easier for people to get unemployment and to qualify for it and to qualify for a longer period of time. So what I did in executive order needs to be codified.
And Governor, can you just explain for people who are kind of wondering where they stand right now in terms of the Supreme Court opinion and then the emergency order from NDHHS, how that differs from the orders that you had in place and what are some of the key differences?
There's not a lot of difference, to be honest. The executive orders that I issued were based on a valid interpretation of the law the court held. Unfortunately, they said the 1945 legislature got it wrong, and so it invalidated a lot of the actions that we've taken. Fortunately, our Director of Health and Human Services has the ability to issue epidemic orders, and they are very similar to what we did as executive orders. So we have a statewide mask mandate, we have limitations on groups that can come together indoors and outdoors, and these are just based on the best science and best practices so we can keep people safe.
All right, one last question. You're here to campaign with Representative Hodgman. You talked about the need to flip the House to have a more cooperative legislature to work with. How, these last few days, all of this happening, how do you see this influencing the election here in Michigan?
I think people understand that who's on the Supreme Court matters. This was a decision that came down on party line vote, doing a lot of mental gymnastics to come to the conclusion they did, and it's going to impact people. It's created a lot of chaos, a lot of concern. Every state in the nation has some form of a state emergency. Governors have had to solve problems because our federal government hasn't been able to get their arms around this virus. And so I'm hopeful that people will turn out and vote for Jim Hodgman, Elizabeth Welch for Supreme Court, and Bridget McCormick, because every one of these races impacts us in our everyday lives. And we got to keep people safe in Michigan. We've made great strides. Our economy is one of the best rebounds in the nation, but all of that's in jeopardy because of this most recent decision, and so it's personal for every one of us.